Hi, my name is Kelly Funk, and this is part B of the Read Aloud assignment for week 2. So, going off of the questions that were listed, first of all, the title of the book is One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish by Dr. Seuss. I love this book. I mean, it had to be one of my favorites. I remember as a second grader, this was read to me in a classroom. I remember the teacher. I remember where I was sitting. I remember the classroom environment. Like, there was something about this book that totally just caught my eye. So I really wanted to read it, especially for this assignment, to another second grader because I thought it just fit the picture perfectly. So I was really excited to read it and just ask some questions on it. So, to prepare for this read aloud, I first of all reviewed the book. I read over the book at least twice, just kind of to refresh my memory on it, and to just kind of gain some ideas on what questions I would be asking the student. It just really helped me, gain more ideas and brainstorm ways where I can get creative with it. So I did read over it twice, and then I kind of would go page by page and look over the pictures. I don't know if you can see, but like each page has like some nice pictures, and they're pretty detailed. So that was really cool to just be able to, flip through it and show the pictures and kind of relate the words to the pictures. I think as a visual learner, that really helped me be able to brainstorm this book and comprehend it well. And I know at the second grade level, that's also super helpful as well. So I thought that was really good. Good way to prepare and just to kind of look over it and refresh my memory on it a little bit. Also, another thing that I did was I went to the back of the book, and every book has this obviously, where it kind of summarizes what it's about and kind of the purpose of it. And so that really helped me kind of gather some questions that I was going to ask the student as well throughout reading it. So that's how I prepared for it. So before starting the read aloud, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous. I feel like when I do read alouds, I want word for word to be like spot on and perfect. So I'm so focused on making sure like my words are perfect to what it actually says in the book. I feel like I always start out like that, but it got better. So once I began reading and I began hearing my voice and kind of getting a rhythm, I was able to be a little more natural and kind of match the words to my voice and to kind of like how I express the sentences. So that really helped me while I was reading and beginning to read the book for sure. And then by the time I was done, I just felt good. I felt like it went really smooth and natural, and I thought that the student I was reading to really enjoyed it because I'm very expressive when I read, and I like to match my emotions to my words. So I thought that was really nice and super helpful to do that. So the reaction that I got from the child that I read the book to, I thought she was pretty intrigued. I mean, you couldn't see her face, obviously, but she seemed very into the book, especially when it started to get super in-depth with the rhyming. I have this particular rhythm. Always when I read rhymes, it's just kind of like this little like pop to it, I guess. So I think that kind of really caught her attention. And then there was times throughout the book where I would stop and just say, "Oh my gosh, do you like this color? I love this color. Obviously the author liked that color." Or just talked about the different characters and stuff like that. So I think she was really engaged, and I think she really did end up liking it more than I thought she would. It's kind of lengthy, but it's a pretty easy read, so it ended up being pretty well. So definitely one of the strengths that I thought I had while reading the book, as I touched on it a little earlier, is just kind of matching the emotions from my face to the words, I guess, and my voice to the words. There were instances in this book where it talked a lot about feelings, like, oh, this fish felt sad, and this fish is mad, and this fish is good, like different kind of waves of emotions and feelings. And I was really able to kind of express that through the way that I portrayed my voice a little bit and my emotions as well. So I think that's really helpful when reading aloud, especially to like young readers, like first, second, and third graders, as they're trying to navigate and figure out, themselves and emotions. It's good to kind of match those, especially when reading it. So I think that was definitely one of my strengths. Another strength I would say is probably just, being pretty smooth when I read. I don't feel like I go too fast, and I don't feel like I go too slow. Once I kind of get set in a good rhythm, I'm pretty good to go. So I thought I did pretty well in that area. Maybe some challenges throughout this read aloud. I think I could have done better was to maybe stop every once in a while and kind of reflect on what this sentence or that particular section was talking about, and then kind of relating the pictures to the words. Sometimes I just kind of like to breeze through the book because I feel like I'm doing well with my reading, but I figured that, and I noticed after this read aloud to the student, that it's okay to stop and ask a few questions. Obviously not too many. You don't want to stop after every page and ask questions because then they're just going to get distracted and kind of on a whole nother page. But I feel like it's okay to do that every once in a while. So I feel like I could have done that a little bit more, and then just kind of just to like relate pictures to words. Obviously first, second, third graders are visual. I know for me, I was very visual, and I think a lot of them today are visual. So it's really good to kind of like make that connection there, and realize that it's okay to do that as well. So those were definitely some challenges that I've noticed during this read aloud for sure. So what I could have done differently is definitely those, just, stopping, reflecting, asking a few questions, connecting the words to the pictures. Before I started the book, I did ask a few questions, based off what they think the book was about, and, what they thought it was about based off the title, based off the picture of the front part of the book. I probably could have asked a little bit more questions, kind of like, have you ever heard about this book? Have you ever heard about the author? And just kind of, seeing if they have read it before or if they haven't, or what they think, it could possibly be about or maybe not be about. I could have done better in that sense for sure. After the video as well, it kind of got cut off the ending because I ran out of storage on my computer. I'm really sorry about that. But I did ask a few more questions after that, just saying, what she thought about the book and how her mindset might have changed from before reading to after reading the book. And she mentioned that that there was some differences. That it's not just all about fish, that it was more, there were more creatures and more characters in there that the author mentioned, so she found that pretty interesting. But just kind of asking more questions, reflecting on how she felt maybe about the book, and kind of making the connection, that social emotional connection, would have been really nice. So I probably could have done that to improve a little bit more as well. So what I learned about reading aloud to children, I definitely learned a lot about the importance of just kind of connecting that, I don't know, I guess kind of just connecting their feelings to the story and purpose of the book. I think it's really important that they're able to make kind of that personal connection, so that way they can just relate to it on a different level, I guess. So I definitely learned that for sure. I definitely learned and saw the areas that I thought I did pretty well in, and some areas that I don't think I did well in. So that was really helpful for me. And what I learned about myself as a teacher is that I'm really good at um, kind of that encouragement. So whether they, answered the question correctly or not, I'm really good at just being like, yes, that is a great idea, or yes, you're so right. I'm very encouraging. I'm very uplifting. I'm just positive. So I think as a teacher, that's extremely important, especially in a time like right now when things are not so positive and great. So I definitely learned that for myself as a teacher, and just also learning the areas that I do need to work on as well, in terms of my read aloud abilities and just ways that I can help them kind of open their brains and open their mind to kind of more creativity. So I was really able to learn that about myself as a teacher too. But yeah, so thank you, and yeah, hope you enjoyed.